though I have mentioned this before, I will go ahead and mention it again. There are very extreme spoilers that will soon be happening. So if you've somehow watched this far and don't want to be spoiled, then don't watch this video. But I think if you've watched this far, then you've either already seen it or you don't care about spoilers. So let's move forward. So at the end of the last song, Dr. Horrible goes to kill Captain Hammer and can't do it. Unfortunately, this time the freeze ray powers down, and Captain Hammer punches Dr. Horrible in the face. Dr. Horrible, in his death ray, goes skittering across the floor, and Captain Hammer grabs the death ray, holds Dr. Horrible down on the floor with his foot, and finishes his song because he got cut off last time. He then goes to shoot Dr. Horrible with the death ray, despite the fact that Dr. Horrible tries to tell him not to, because the skittering across the floor kind of broke it. Captain Hammer doesn't listen, pulls the trigger, and the whole gun explodes. Sends Captain Hammer careening back, expressing pain, and he leaves because this is the first time he's ever experienced pain and he can't handle it. And Dr. Horrible realizes he's okay, looks around, and sees Penny sitting down with shrapnel in her stomach and in her chest. And then, because you know where this is going, Penny dies. After that, we get pretty much the most depressing song in this entire musical, Everything You Ever. Now, this song starts with something that could be considered ambiguous, but probably isn't. The very first line that Dr. Horrible says in this song is, "Here lies everything, the world I wanted at my feet." Now, at this point, he's standing over Penny's dead body, so the argument could be made, and in fact is more likely, that he's talking about Penny. And the fact that everything he wanted, a relationship with Penny, has basically gone out the window. But the argument could also be made that because someone is dead, and because the argument could be made, there's arguments being made all over the place, that he killed her, and in fact that's what all the newspapers say, that he finally got into the evil League of Evil. So I don't think it's a coincidence that they use those words, because Joss Whedon is a genius. So this first line is alluding both to the fact that he's in the evil League of Evil, but it's at the terrible cost of losing Penny. So Dr. Horrible has finally been accepted into the evil League of Evil, but it is obvious that he's just going through the motions of being evil. As the song continues, we see that Dr. Horrible is robbing banks and doing various villainous things. We see that Captain Hammer is in therapy, and we see that the groupies have begun obsessing over Dr. Horrible instead of Captain Hammer. And we also see Dr. Horrible walking through this big villain party until he finally gets to the main people of the evil League of Evil. And one of the things that this song does really well is it brings back the moments in the musical where Dr. Horrible was villainous. In the section in the middle where we see all the various villainous activities, as well as when he's walking into the villainous party, we have instrumental snippets. The first instrumental part in this song is from Brand New Day. And this is the moment where he's just walking through all of these people. We see the Bad Horse Chorus just kind of dancing in the frame. We see a variety of other villainous people, as well as Moist himself, who, I don't know if he was ever mentioned. He's basically Dr. Horrible's sidekick, in case I haven't mentioned that. And then when he finally gets to the point where he's dressing into his more evil Dr. Horrible costume, and he has reached the evil League of Evil, it switches to the villainous moments in Slipping. So we have the two moments where he was full-on villainous. The first one where he was finally thinking more villainous thoughts, and the second one where he was actually being villainous in a public area. At this point in the song, he has completely changed. He is no longer wearing a white lab coat, but is in fact wearing a red lab coat with black gloves. And throughout the entire musical, he had a pair of goggles sitting on the top of his head, but he never lowered them until this point, when he has fully become the villainous Dr. Horrible. And ultimately, although throughout the whole musical we have Dr. Horrible sitting in front of the camera talking to the audience, in the end, we have Billy, completely in street clothes, completely separate from Dr. Horrible, sitting in front of a camera, and looking at all of us with, as Joss Whedon himself put it, pure emptiness in his eyes. How's that for an ending?
And I won't feel a thing.